Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's calibration. A few announcements before we get into the practical. First of all, 100% completion rate for our premium members yesterday. This is the standard, so amazing work, everybody. This is how we build rock solid identity coherence, how we build a self that does not shake even when the circumstances do. Special shout out to Trish for your incredible pivot and staying 100% locked in. As we go through the next couple of weeks and months together doing this, the old self will reassert, the novelty will wear off, but it is the standards that hold us to our completion. And I want to say to everybody, great job supporting and celebrating each other. This is what keeps people on track. So let's keep that up and even enhance it so that when we get into January, when we get towards the end of the month, we don't allow that momentum to flag. Secondly, welcome to our two new members. Welcome to Aubrey, joining us from X, and to our newest premium member, Elias. Great to have you both join us inside Unshakable Entrepreneurs. Also, a reminder for everybody that we have our community call together at 6 p.m. today. Jump on in. We're going to be trying something brand new, a world first as far as I'm aware, but it's going to help you stay on track even when life gets loud and you forget to come to the community. We're going to solve for that today. So jump on by if you want to be one of the first to experience that. Also, one final announcement. We got a star. This shows that this is a top 1% community. And this is on you guys for supporting each other, for celebrating each other, and for really being a top 1% community where entrepreneurs can develop a ironclad identity, congruence, internal consistency. This is the inner game, and we are just getting started. So let's get into today's principle. This is going to be a practical to help you and something I call act early or drift later. So let me define drift first of all. This is the system reverting to previously rehearsed patterns and behaviors. It is when you fall back to the old self, you go back to old patterns. So drift appears the moment the identity, the awareness, loses its authority. So think about it. When you hesitate or negotiate or consult how you feel before you act, the old self has the door wide open to step on back in. And it has way more reps and more momentum than the identity you selected today. So the delay gives it room to reassert itself, to take back control. Identity requires persistence, awareness. Rapid expression is how we stabilize it. So if you don't express your intention quickly, it dissolves. Think about when you hold your breath consciously. You can maintain that state for a short space of time before you lose your awareness and the automatic process takes back over. Identity works exactly the same way. So action will stabilize it while the delay collapses it. So when you say, I am the kind of person who does something, and then you postpone it for hours, you train the system to ignore the instruction, and the old self takes over by default. So to practically counteract that, I've created a protocol. And the sequence is simple, right? Identity commands, the action confirms. Delay cancels the command. So there are three mechanisms I want you to be aware of before we get into the protocol, right? These are very well documented, scientifically proven principles, and I'll just give you the 2-second version. So prediction loops. The brain tightens identity coherence through immediate execution. So if you wait, you're actually voting for the old self. You're displaying hesitation, which is I am not. The loop will loosen and default behavior will be the pattern that emerges. The second one is called neural dominance. Now, this is simply the most reinforced pattern with the greatest synaptic reinforcement wins unless you interrupt it consciously with a new behavior. And the third one is called intention decay. So your intention has a very short lifespan. When you say you're going to do something and then you don't act, the system will deprioritize it and reinstate the automatic behavior. It does this for efficiency because it knows what is predictable. It knows what is safe. This is why to reinforce the new behavior, you want to act before you have time to think. So thinking gives the old self time to negotiate. It's where that drift comes in. Thinking is, you can say, the opportunity for the emotion to try and reclaim your authority, the old self to try and get you emotionally involved. But this action, it's very important to say, it doesn't need to be intense. It's not about the outcome. It's about the immediacy. So one clean micro movement from your identity before the mind has time to open that door for drift to come back in. So to make this operational for you, here is the drift prevention protocol. 5 steps, only a few seconds to run this play. Step number 1, who are you being? Name your identity. This restores your authority. Step number 2, reduce everything to one immediate binary action, the single smallest expression of the identity that can be completed right now. If you want to make a sales call, pick up your phone and dial. That's it. Takes 2 seconds. Step number 3, act before thought. So again, make the action small enough that there is no resistance to taking it. It might just be, hey, pick up my phone. Now dial. So that is the goal, right? Get into action, open that loop. Step number 4, complete the action, follow through and close the loop. When you're in motion, this is so much easier. When you go into the gym, for example, once you're in the car and you're on the way to the gym, you're basically there. You've basically done the workout. It's getting in the car, which is the hard part. And then step 5, return to the identity and anchor the completion as the proof. This is who I am. This is what I do. Here's the proof. This simple protocol, you can deploy this at the earliest signs of drift. So the moment you feel that hesitation, that emotional consultation, right, running with the old play, you can run this one instead, and this will keep you locked into your identity. And this is how top-tier operators remove drift before it costs them time and money, and most importantly, momentum. This isn't motivation. This is through speed and precision. Understand that identity cannot remain conceptual. It only stabilizes through embodiment and expression. That is what I'd like you to practice today. Go ahead and complete your declaration below. What one binary input will you take to prove that you are your chosen identity today? And then mirror as many people as possible. You guys have been crushing this, but this really shows everybody that you are being held to a standard by the community. And this overrides drift. This is an external scaffold that we can use to keep each other on track. So the more you support each other, the more people support you, the more you lock this in. So with that said, have a beautiful day. Have a wealthy day. I will see you tomorrow.